I go into the... Oh, here we go. Okay, the recording is active. Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with guest teacher Leon Meier, based out of Christchurch, New Zealand. Leon,
Hello.
uh, wanted to learn more about the process of preparing and then competing at the trials. If folks didn't see the
Sure.
last video, which we just put out, congrats are due to Leon and the whole New Zealand team.
Thank
Um,
you.
Leon, yeah, give us a recap. First, maybe you can just share the good news again.
Yeah. Me, along with my team of Gayo Tislavol, Michael Ware, and Matthew McManus, have won the New Zealand trials. We beat fellow Learnbridge Online guest before Graham Tufnell in the semi-finals, and then it was a draw, and we had to play a playoff, and then we played in the finals. We were behind until the last two boards, where we managed to get those and win by 15 imps in the end. So it was very exciting. We'll be going to Buenos Aires for the Vanderbilt.
Congratulations. So yeah, so how and these circles look a little too much like MasterCard. I'm going to make us... All right, here we go. Yeah, so how do you go about preparing for an event like this? I mean, how many hands did you play over the whole trials? How many days did it take? This is sort of an endurance feat, which I think us casual players, us aspiring learners, most of us don't understand what goes into it.
Sure. So over the 3 days, we played about 200 hands, and over 30 hours of bridge, including an appeal for a director ruling. Um, so 10 hours, 12 hours, 10 hours, very long. So it was really quite a endurance marathon of
Mm.
bridge. I've played lots of bridge in a short time before, but with the trials, it's all so intense. You have to be tuned in on every hand. Every hand matters. Every overtrick matters. You can't be forgetful. I
Mm.
mean, everyone's going to have some lapses in concentration, but you have to minimize those if you want to do the best that you can.
Especially at
And
hour 11 of the third day. I mean,
oh
how...
yeah, that was when we fell behind in the final. So the first day and the first half of the second day were the semi-final. Second
Mm.
half of the second day was the final, and then the third day was all the final. And that second day, when there was we had the second part of the semi-final, then the playoff, the 8-board playoff, since it was a draw, and an appeal for a director ruling, which was crazy, and then one of the most insane sets of bridge I've played, which I didn't play so well after like all of this crazy stuff had happened already during the day, and there was some wild distribution, massive preempts on these hands where it was really difficult to judge. So that's how we got behind in the finals, and then we managed to catch up. It was, yeah, no one was playing at their best by the end of the third day, that's for sure.
All right, here's a question maybe that those of us not playing at your level, uh, maybe we can still learn from your experience with this. I wonder if other folks relate to this. Even if I'm playing against robots online, let's say I'm playing some random daily tournament, play a couple, first couple hands, do all right, might even do well, and then let's say I just make a boneheaded mistake, hand three, and then, well, it's twice as likely I'm going to make a mistake hand four. As soon as I start to feel like, oh no, I'm messing up,
Yeah.
it's so hard to stop my downward cycle.
Yeah,
It's really
it
hard
is
for me
so
to get
hard.
out of that headspace. How do you do it? And any tips you have for us to catch ourselves after a
That
mistake or after a couple unlucky hands?
that's one of the biggest things that people do, and what causes big upsets. Whenever you see a big upset in a bridge match, it's usually because someone made a mistake, and then they were emotionally affected and continued to make more mistakes. Now, I'm not perfect at completely being a robot, not remembering everything, but how I like to help myself is after I make a mistake, I remember, okay, did I go into this tournament expecting I would play perfectly and never make a mistake? Well,
Mm,
no. So why am I upset about making a mistake which I knew was going to happen?
mm,
Everyone here is making mistakes, right? So to help myself not get upset, I remember everyone's making mistakes. I knew I was going to make some mistakes, and this is one of them. But now I just need to focus on the next hand, forget about that hand, not be affected by it because I know that was going to happen, and just try my best on the next one.
Man, I'm gonna keep this video handy. I feel like every time I play, I'm gonna just pull this up again. At the bridge table and in life. I mean, maybe even like any social gathering, I could just listen to that. Sorry. You didn't nail that joke, but I didn't expect all of my jokes to land. Okay.
Yeah.
Liam, that's been
And
all right. If you don't mind,
actually,
can I put you on the spot? Actually,
sure.
maybe could you give us viewers a pep talk? So pretend you're our coach,
And
inside our
and
consciousness.
you've
With
just come back from a bad set or something, and I'm trying to give you a pep talk for the next one. Awesome.
or we're even halfway in the middle of the last one, and we've messed up on a couple hands. Yeah, find us in there because we have to internalize this.
Okay, you've just messed up. I get that, right? You're going to mess up. You're not the number one best player in the world. Only one person is. Your opponents are messing up too. If you keep playing tight, they're going to mess up. You don't need to try and do something to try and make up for that mistake on the next board. You just have to try and go back to playing your solid bridge that you've practiced, that you've learnt from watching Bajir online, that you've learnt from
Not me, the other teachers. Definitely not me.
that you've learnt from all of these different people that have taught you throughout your career, that you've maybe learnt from me if I've taught you. You need to focus on those things, just go card by card and know that, okay, you've made mistakes, you're going to make mistakes, so don't let this affect you. You knew you were going to, so why are you surprised?
I think we're all gonna have that on repeat.
um,
Mm,
so in the preparation for the trials,
yeah.
my partner and I, we played a random local tournament the week before, right? Just we weren't taking it too seriously. Our teammates were just some friends, and I'll be honest, uh, us and especially me didn't actually play that well. I made mistakes
Mm,
and made mistakes I wouldn't normally make, made more than I'd normally make,
mm,
and that gave me not so good feeling about the trials next.
mm,
But I was spending the next week staying with my partner, and he was amazing with saying, okay, let's dive into not what the mistakes are, because I know you know better than these. Let's dive into what was going on in your mind when you made the mistakes.
mm,
And I think that's a very valuable thing that I try and teach all my students to do long term, is not just look at the mistake and the bridge reason why it's bad, but what
mm,
was going through your mind. Where was the fault in the thought process? It's not so much to say, oh, I should have finessed instead of played this. Okay, but what made you make that decision in the first place? What was in your mind, and how can you address that next? For me, like, I was overthinking. I was wanting too much out of each hand. I was trying to do the perfect thing, play for these niche scenarios, rather than knowing what was normally happening and focusing on playing my normal game.
mm,
And my partner realized that. We talked through it, and I made sure to not overthink and just try and do the right thing with the cards that I know are there, and
mm,
not play for the 0.001% chance that maybe this thing happened and we can find the perfect thing, because no one can play bridge exactly perfectly.
It's really incredible hearing, a player at the top level say that, because it's so relatable. I mean, so yeah, thank you for that, Leon. We'll be cheering you on. um yeah, I've already told you we would love to get you back for another interesting hand or two, and definitely from Argentina we'll have to ring you up either during or after, and yeah, and maybe you can share an interesting hand from there as well.
Yeah, and if people like it, if you guys like it, then I'm happy to share more hands for the trial or some other interesting hands that I've played over my time playing bridge. Which, even though it's just been 4 years, I've played a lot of hands in that 4 years.
I that Well, I'm gonna go cry now because I've been playing for more than 4 years. I'm happy at like 52% in almost any tournament. Uh, so, all
Well,
right,
not everyone has the same bridge ambitions, and if you're happy just doing what you want to do, that's okay. Just get better within that.
more. Uh, Another message which I imagine I'm not the only one who will take to heart. Thank you, Leon. Thank you, everyone who joined us. Yeah,
Thank you.
leave a question or comment for Leon in the comments below, and
Yep,
we'll
I'll,
definitely
I'll
have
make
you
sure
back
to answer them.
whenever you're able. Thank you, Leon.
See ya.